You ready for some math? Here we go. Last video for 6.3. But before we start, something weird. You know. Have you ever thought about what sound a koala bear makes? What sound does a koala bear make? Let's see here. Here we go. Mom, where are you, Mom? Koala's trying to track you down. That's a weird sound. Yeah, koala bears. That's the sound of the Olympic reach today. Woo! Yeah, so much. Yeah, thanks for watching. What does there we go. Right? They eat a lot of eucalyptus leaves and they make funny sounds when they're babies. So thanks for watching. Here we are on number 17. So we're doing a third root power. So how do we undo the third root, right? So first we got to isolate the radical. Remember, isolate the root. So we're going to go ahead and minus 2 to the other side. So we get negative 5. Now I know what you're saying. Sometimes we get a negative there and we're worried. We're like, uh-oh. Is this one actually going to work? But since it's cube root, it probably will work. So what do we do next? Pause me. Try it on your own. What do we do next? Did you give it a try? So we are going to go ahead and raise it to that power. So we're going to raise it to the power of 3, and that's going to cancel the root. But if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other side. And so negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25 times negative 5 is negative 125. And then we have 6x minus 5 left. And now we're going to add 5 to the other side. So we get 6x equals negative 100 and, pause me, negative 120. So we'll divide by 6. And so x equals, let's see, so I think that's 6 goes into 12 twice, bring down the 0. So I think we got negative 20 there, right? Negative 20. We'll just make sure there. So we got negative 120 divided by 6. Yep, negative 120. Way-o. And then we check by plugging it back in. So make sure it says here to check for extraneous solutions. You must show work and check in the answers. Or indicate when you don't need to. Okay, good. So we got we're going to plug in negative 20 now. So we have the cube root of 6 times negative 20 minus 5 plus 2 equals negative 3. Let's see if it works. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 20, 120. Minus the 5 is the cube root of negative 125. And the cube root of negative 125 is just a negative 5. And so we got negative 5. Wow. Okay, here we go. So we get negative 5. Why does it keep doing that all the time? Okay, negative 5 plus 2. Does negative 5 plus 2 equal negative 3? You know it does. So it works. Make sure to check your answer. Make sure it works. Try the next one. So we're going to try 18 on your own. Let's go. Pause me. Try number 18 on your own. I'm waiting. Pause me. Okay, so we have a square root going on there. If my smartboard lets me do anything. Okay, so we got a square root going on there. And so we want to power 2 both sides to get rid of the square root. So we have 7x minus 7. But you know what I'm going to do is we're going to want to check our answers. So I'm going to write that original problem down here. Without the squaring part, right? The squaring part could mess it up. You could think it's the solution when really it's not. So make sure that you plug it into the original. When you're checking, make sure you plug it into the original. When checking. Okay, get everything on the same side. So get all the x's on one side. There's no squared there. It's just a regular x. So minus 3x over. So we got 7x minus 3x is a 4x. And then we'll go ahead. That's minus 7 equals 5. And then we'll add the 7 to the other side. And we get 4x equals 12. And then we'll divide by 4 and divide by 4. So we get x equals 3. But let's see if it works. You got to check first, remember, and see if it works. So wherever we see an x, we're going to plug in a 3. Plug in a 3 there, plug in a 3. So 7 times 3 is a 21. Minus 7 is radical 14 on this side. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 5 is 14. It works. Woo. So make sure during the test that you check and make sure that it works. Make sure that it works. Nice. So 3 is our answer. X equals 3 is our answer. Nice. All right, here we go. Number 19. So make sure you get everything on the other side. Make sure you get everything on the other side first. So we're going to minus the 6 to the other side. So we get 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Ooh, interesting, interesting. So the question is, will a square root ever yield a negative number? Can you square root some number and it gives you a negative number? No. So you probably don't even need to check because it's no solution, right? Because you're not going to be able to, 2 minus 6 is negative 4. We're going to show you, but it's not going to work because, let's show you why. Because the square root, you can see in the very beginning. So the square root will never yield a negative number. So let's go to power 2 both sides. So we get positive 16. That's what tricks us is the powering 2 both sides because it changes it to positive. We'll minus 12 and get 4. 16 minus 12 is 4. Bring down the 3x. And then we divide by 3. So we get 4/3. We get 4/3. So the problem is when you go to plug it back in, square root cannot yield a negative number. We're going to plug 4/3 in. We're going to plug 4/3 in. Plus 12 is equal to 2. Well, the 3 over 1, so that's going to be 6 plus the square root of 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 12. And so that's going to go ahead and be 6 plus the square root of 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 4 plus 12 is 16. And the square root of 16 is 4. And 6 plus 4 is 10. And does 10 equal 2? Does 10 equal 2? 10 does not equal 2. So this one, the answer is no solution. I still checked it, but no solution. No solution. Because we knew that a square root will never yield to a negative number, never give off a negative number. Ooh, now we've got to go ahead and power 2 both sides. But remember, you don't just do the x squared and the 2x squared. That's no. Wrong. So you have to do the whole thing. Smiley face. Because that means we have an x plus 2 times an x plus 2 equals square root both sides, or power 2 both sides. And that's, so we got to remember to do the middle terms. And so to get the middle terms, you have to power 2 the whole thing, not just individual terms, the whole side. And so now we get x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 2 is 4. Good. There we go. So then we have x squared plus 2x and 2x is 4x. Plus 4 equals 10x plus 11. Good. And then we want to, oh, there's a square there. So what does that mean? What does the square there mean? How many solutions are we going to have? That's right, 2 of them. So how do we do it now? How do we do this? What do we do from here? Pause me, try it on your own. Do you remember? That's right, get everything to the other side, and factor it. So we're going to go ahead and get everything to the other side and factor it. So we're going to minus 10x. We're going to minus 10x. So we have x squared minus 6x now. We're going to minus the 11. Minus the 11. So this side just becomes a 0. 4 minus 11. What's 4 minus 11? Negative 7? Yeah, negative 7. So we get x and x, and 1 and 7. Good. Sign of the middle term goes with a bigger number. And then we got to get to negative 6, so this has to be a positive one. Has to be a positive one, which gives us that little guy right there. Whoa, what are you doing here? And what are you doing here? I don't know. But let's make you bigger and throw you away. What are you doing? What? Hey, it bounced. Okay, we get 2 solutions. Set them both equal to 0. So go ahead and set them both equal to 0. So we're going to add 7 to the other side. So we get x equals 7 as a solution. And then we have x plus 1 equals 0 as well, minus 1 to the other side. So we get x equals negative 1. So we have 2 solutions that we need to check. Right? So let's see. We have 7 plus 2, plugging in 7 for x. Plugging in 7 for x. So 7 plus 2 equals the square root of 10 times 7 plus 11. So that's 9 is equal to the square root of 10 times 7 is 70 plus 11 is 81. We got 81 there, got 81. And so we have 9 equals, yeah, that's true, because 9 equals square root of 80. What is 9? It works. Uh-oh, but what about the negative 1? Uh-oh, does the negative 1 work? Let's see if the negative 1 works. Well, we put a negative 1 there. 2 minus 1 is 1. That looks promising because it's positive now. And then we have the square root of 10 times negative 1 plus 11. And so that's a negative 10. And 11 with the negative 10 is 1. 1 equals the square root of 1. 1 equals 1. It works. So that one had both solutions work, right? That had both solutions work. Way-o. Ooh, we still have some word problems. What? That's crazy. So let's see. Do we have time for one more video? Well, keep on going. Okay, so now we got to do both. So we're going to minus 5 to the other side. Just making a video. 32 minus 5 is 27. And now we have x plus 4 to the 3/2 power. And so that can be written as x plus 4. Remember, the root goes there. And then that's x plus 3 to the 3rd power. And so what we're going to do there is we're going to go ahead and power to both sides first. It doesn't matter. We could have went ahead and cube rooted both sides first, but we'll power to both sides first. And so 27 times 27 is 729. So now we have 729. We bring down the x plus 4 to the 3rd power. So then how do we do the 3rd power? How do we do the 3rd power? So we're going to go ahead and cube root both sides. Way-o. Cube root both sides. So now in our calculator, we go ahead and do the cube root. Where's our cube root there? So math button. So the cube root of 729 is 9. Interesting. So that becomes a 9. And our cube root and our cube goes away, so that's x plus 4. And then we go ahead and minus 4 to the other side. Wait. So then we get, what? We get 5. So x equals 5. Let's check and make sure. So 5 plus 4, we're going to plug a 5 in there. So 5 plus 4 is 9 to the 3/2 power plus 5. Does that equal 32? Let's see. So that's the square root of 9 to the 3rd power. And the square root of 9 is 3. And 3 to the 3rd power is 27. And 27 plus 5 does indeed equal 32. It works. Nice. It works. Okay, last one. So we're going to go to minus 5 over to this side, so we get a negative 9 this time. Whoa. So we get x plus 3 to the 2/3 power. So then we have to be minus 5 to the other side. So someone told me that if you times it by the inverse with the powers, that's also a cool thing. So let's give that a try. What do they mean? Let's give that a try. See if it works. So what I mean is if you go ahead and times this power, so if you raise this power or times this power by 3 halves, and then you go ahead and take the negative 9 and do it to the 3 halves, that's like a shortcut or something. Whoa, let's see if it works. So x plus 3 is equal to negative 9 to the 3 halves. So that's the square root of negative 9 to the 3rd power. And so that's the square root of, so negative 9, negative 9, negative 9. Just making a math video. So then those are all i's. Yeah, I don't even think this is going to work. So we get the square root of what? That would be like 3i times 3i times 3i. So that would be like 27i. What the? And then x plus 3 minus it over. Don't forget the plus or minus, though. I think we're forgetting the plus or minus. So minus plus or 3, 27i is our answer. But that's weird, because usually we want whole numbers. I guess we're not graphing it, so that's true. That's true. That's our answer. And if we plug it in, we can see if it works, I guess. Let's take one of them. So 3 plus 27i, or negative 3 plus 27i. We plug that in there, right there. And so we get plus 3 to the 2/3 power plus 5 is equal to negative 4. And so the negative 3 cancels. We're at 27i. It's the cube root, but then it's also squared. What the heck? Plus 5 equals negative 4. I don't know. Is this going to work? I don't know. So then we got 27i squared. Well, I squared is a negative 1. So that's what I squared becomes. And you can do the cube root. You can do the cube root of negative 27. So the cube root of negative 27 is negative 3. And then plus 5. So negative 3. Let me see. Cube root, is that right? Did we do that right? Yep. So plus 5. Let's see, equals negative 4. 5 minus 3 is 2, and 2 doesn't equal negative 4. So maybe it doesn't work. We'll see in a second. Come back to finish our last video with the word problems. Thanks for watching. See you soon.